How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here or haven't seen the series yet, this is a mystery box of miscellaneous jewelry that we've recently purchased at my jewelry store. They bring it into us, and usually if it's made out of gold or platinum, we tear out the stones, send the metal off to the refinery, and use the gemstones for repair purposes. Usually it's things that people have inherited or they no longer are wearing and it's just taking up space in their jewelry box at home. Sometimes we find things that are really interesting, have some history to it, and even some things that are deemed resellable. Someone else that works at my store put together this box, and we're going to go through it together and see what we have. Alright, starting off, we'll go with this little guy here. Let's zoom in a little bit. So this appears to be, it's like some sort of pin. And as always, if you seem to know what any of this stuff is, drop a comment down below. I always go through all the comments, and a lot of people help me out with identifying some of the things that I come up short with. But this is, looks like a US soldier. This is the pin section. And oh yeah, so there's another pin on the back side here. Get this open here. So yeah, it's like a two-part pin. Little soldier there. Not sure what this symbol means, but does not appear to be gold. This is just all costume. Soldier's fully enameled. And this is just like a neat little interesting thing. No scrap value, and we'll just hang on to something like this. But we'll move on here. I'm trying to make these a little bit shorter than what I've been doing previously. I'm going to try and move a little bit faster here. This is a little silver spoon. I've gone through these before. This one's smaller than normal, but some people make rings out of silver spoons, but just a little tiny spoon, maybe for sugar. This is, let's see, two-tone. Looks like rose gold in the center, white gold on the outsides with diamonds, and it's kind of hard to tell through the camera, but I'm assuming these are rubies, and they're kind of more, it's the same thing, but they look more like pink sapphires now that I'm looking at it in the different light. So yeah, probably pink sapphire. And let's see, this one is made of 10 karat gold. So I'd have to check out the prongs on something like this. Might be resellable. We usually don't resell 10 karat pieces. Usually only 14 karat or higher. But pretty ring nonetheless. Let's move on here. So I have a couple pearls, a couple strands of pearls in here, and I'm going to hold them beside each other. These are two different strands. You can kind of see two different qualities there. This is also a good example of the different stringing processes. So this one has knots between each pearl, and like, see how this is starting to fray between these two pearls? That's usually a sign that you need to get your pearls restrung. And this one has no knots between it. So the knotted version is a little higher quality, and these are different quality pearls. Like you can see, these ones are kind of cloudy looking compared to these. There's freshwater and saltwater pearls, and I'm no pearl expert by any means, but if you want to check if pearls are real or not, and a lot of times people come in my store and say, like, I want you to tell me if these are real pearls or not. And I won't do this with customer pearls because it's gross. But one trick to tell if a pearl is real or not is you just take one and you rub it against your teeth. And if it feels chalky, that means it's most likely real. But if it feels like really slippery, like plastic, then it's most likely fake. So that's a trick. And yeah, like I said, I will not do that with a customer's pearl. That's gross. And then it looks like, let's see, little Christmas pin This is clearly just decorative costume piece, gold plated, nothing of value there. Just some miscellaneous like rhinestones. These aren't real gemstones or anything like that. All right, I noticed we had a couple watches, and if you've seen previous episodes, I always like to open these up and check out the insides. One time we opened one up and there was a hidden picture inside of it. I don't know who the picture was of or who it belonged to or anything, but I'm going to pop open the backs and tell you a little bit more about these watches. All right, so I got the backs popped off of those watches, and just to get things started, this one on the left, it is just brass or plated. It's no value there as far as metal, but you can just see this is an old mechanical watch. You can't even see the manufacturer on it, but and one of you left a comment recently. They said if you have a hard time getting these out, I think it was lighter fluid they were recommending, but that one came out pretty easy. Let's zoom in some more. I really like these old mechanical movements. They're super neat to see. I remember as a kid, I would go to my dad's store at the time and I'd tear these apart, and I'd always try to get these little jewels out. But yeah, this is an old movement that no longer works, and I'm sure you could service it, and there you go, it's ticking. Just got to wind it up a little bit, see if we can get some movement. Yeah, pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, this watch is just plated, but the other one that I have is a good example of a watch made out of precious metals. This is all white gold and diamonds. So a pretty nice piece here. Let's see, this is a Hamilton watch. You can see on the dial, Lady Hamilton. And pretty nice diamonds. Really well set. Diamonds in the bracelet also. This is all solid 14 karat white gold. And like I said, I already started the back off of this one. This watch would be much more valuable than that last one I showed you. This one, you know, even just for scrap, there's probably several $100s worth of scrap here. And let's see if this movement wants to pop out for me here. I might have to do this off camera so you can see it getting hung up here. Let me get this popped out real quick. All right, I got that Hamilton out. This one's in much better condition than that first one we opened up. And even without messing with it too much, it's wanting to start going here. Ticking away. And with these, like I said, this one's made out of white gold. We always look inside, so you can see Hamilton Watch Company, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, 14 karat gold, and that's probably like a serial number or a reference number. So yeah, I'll box that one back up. Something like this, like it's just way too pretty to send off to the refinery. Like we could tear that apart, and we don't really deal with watches like as far as reselling something like this, because it's really hard to sell a watch like this, like because and we couldn't like guarantee like, oh, it's going to keep good time or anything. You know, who knows how old this thing is. And you know, it's really pretty. Would hate to tear it apart, so not really sure what we'll do with it. So leave a comment, let me know, would you wear a watch like this? All right, so moving on, I have a couple things left. I'm not even sure what this is yet, but stay till the end because I do know what the final piece I'm going to show you is, and I think it's just super cool. So this episode, we're going to save the coolest thing till the end. This appears to be sterling silver, some sort of like pendant or like tassel or something like that. And this is a bloodstone. So someone put a lot of work into this bezel, kind of like a wire wrap effect. And yeah, just kind of a neat stone. Has a lot of depth and just something that you don't see every single day. But let's move on. I'm really excited to show you this final piece. So before I give you too much information, I'm going to show you this. And I've done this before where I'm going to kind of withhold some information and give you some time. If you know what this is or what this is made out of, I want you to leave a comment. No cheating, because you're going to find out here in a minute. But I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and that might help you identify this some. The material is sterling silver, but I want you to look at these scenes. You know, they're all beach theme, and I want you to guess what you think this is made out of. Let me see if I can zoom in any more. There we go. I'm trying to keep this as still as possible. Alright, so hopefully you took your best guess. But these scenes are actually made of actual butterfly wings. And yeah, there's probably some people are upset about like how humane it is or whatever, but yeah, all butterfly wings, very beautiful. But these are all beach scenes. So palm tree, you got the sunset on the left side, water, sand at the bottom right, super cool. Trees in that one, like in the background, or maybe those are like mountains. Got the sun behind the palm tree there. But could you imagine just carefully cutting apart a butterfly wing and laying this out, you know, like that would be pretty difficult. And then putting it in a sterling silver bracelet. It's just kind of insane. But yeah, someone really talented put these together. And these are just like behind some sort of like epoxy. But whenever I angle it, you can see the depth. But yeah, I'm thinking like that blue background is, I don't know. Leave a comment if you know like what's the type of butterfly that has those blue wings. Is it? I think the only butterfly I can think of is a monarch, but I think that's like the stereotypical orange and black butterfly. But yeah, stamped sterling silver, and just some really old craftsmanship here on this one, and a really neat piece. So if you guys enjoyed this week's mystery box, please hit like on the video, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications so you know whenever the next box video comes out. Thanks for watching.